Today we're going to clean an OKI printer. It's fairly simple, it should be done at least once a month, and I'm going to show you what you need to do it and how to do it quite simply. To open the printer, push down on the grey knob here and gently raise that up like that to see the inside of the printer. Now we're going to clean the drums and check the inside of the printer. So you need to have a big piece of paper on the table. Remove each drum. It's got 4 little feet here and here. You put it down on the paper like so. Just take each one out like so, like so, and this last one. Now if you look inside the printer, you can see it's quite a lot of polymer in there. All around here, these terminals are covered with polymer on both sides. So what you would do is use your damp cloth and just wipe all the polymer off the toner off the inside of the printer. Just generally clean it up, both sides, like that. And then you've got polymer down there. A damp cloth actually helps pick up that polymer, and so that's about it there. That's not bad. Now we're going to check the toner drums, each one. Now you can see there's quite a bit of polymer wrapped around this, so the soft tissue with a little bit of meths on it, just gently wipe all that polymer away. You can see it coming off now, and just keep those drums clean down the inside here, along here, and particularly on the ends where the terminals are. Now I'm going to turn around and show you where you do get problems. This one's a ripper. This drum has got a lot of contaminants in there which will affect your printing. You can notice here, looks like cat fur. That is caught. So you use the wooden skewer and just gently take that out. Then use the brush and brush along that point there between the drum and the outfeed, and then any of the other swarf here, just use the brush, clean all that off. Now there was a lot in there. Now that's nice and clean now. You can rotate the drum around like that to make sure that you've got it all off. Don't expose this to too much sunlight because it's quite light sensitive. So that drum is now nice and clean after being quite filthy. So I'm going to put that back in the right spot. The K drum goes into where the K toner goes, like that. You repeat the process for every one of the toners. This one is covered in toner, so once again the soft damp cloth, clean it, clean the ends, clean all the toner off. This one's had a fair old hiding by the look of it. Just clean it all off and clean the terminals. You can see there's a lot of toner there. Now this drum, it's not so bad, but once again use the brush and you can just see some contaminants in there. You can actually feel them like that. You want to keep that clean because they will come out onto the substrates that you're printing and cause streaking when you print. So once again you do that, put that back into the machine and do the same with the next one. This is the magenta one. Once again, lots of toner everywhere, and just give it a good clean. Remove all the toners, turn it around, check the ends. You don't want that toner coming down onto the paper that you're printing. Then turn it over and check once again along there, that particular point there, that's quite okay, and just brush all that away. Don't breathe toner in, it's not good for you. Pop that drum in, do the last one. Oh, this is really nice, look at that, wow, lots of toner here. And just give it a good clean. And all over, both ends. And check once again along here. If there are any score marks on that drum, they will come out as black spots or black lines when you print, but this one's okay. So just keep that clean and then put them back into the printer. That's the drums all clean, but look at the mess on the table. That's what you don't want to get on your clothes and everywhere else. So we will now do the heating elements. Pull the release buttons back, or the levers back there on either side, and lift it out. Now this could be quite hot, so be very careful. It can burn you. These rollers inside, if they have any black marks or anything sticking to them, what you would use would be the cotton buds and a little bit of spirits on the cotton bud, like so, and you have to actually get inside here and remove anything that gets caught on the roller. You can turn the rollers around by using the gear, which is here, and that should pop up there so you can see that roller. You can rotate the rollers there. That one's pretty good actually, so there's no problem with that. But if there's anything in there, you can see it and you can remove it with a cotton bud. Never use a sharp instrument. That one's okay. I'll put that back in now. That's it. So we've cleaned the drums, the inside of the printer, and the heating element, or the fuser unit. Now we will do the front of the printer. Now the front of the printer, you open up the printer by pulling left and right down like so. Open up the trays and use your little brush. Just remove off any dust. They do collect dust. Give it a good clean. Anything like that. Now there are only two components that you really need to worry about. One is that little roller up underneath here. Just turn it by pushing that roller there, push it down, and just hold the tissue underneath and rub it across as you rotate that roller. That will clean that one. Then there's a little pad just there. You give that a bit of a clean as well, because it's the friction between that pad and that roller which pulls the paper through. Then you open up the front by pushing that lever up, bringing it down like so, and you want to clean this black roller here and this steel roller here. To do that, once again, you use the cloth with some methylated spirits. Just gently wipe them. You turn that gear around, and as you turn that around, just move the cleaning parts across on either side of those rollers. You don't want a build up of dust in there, because otherwise it won't pick up the paper and it won't feed. And then generally just give the inside a good wipe, and that's it. So you keep that steel bar clean and that roller underneath there clean, and then once it's done you just close it and the printer is ready for use. Now we're going to clean the back of this printer. I'm going to take out that unit because we don't need that. The back is held on by two screws, one there and one there, and then a little lug there and a little lug there. What you need to do is to remove the screws. Screw them, don't lose the screw, and certainly don't drop it inside the printer. Now to get the back off, you need to release the top cover just a little bit like that. You then take your left hand and right hand and pull back, snap it back at the top like so, and then close the lid, and then push it down, which releases those two lugs. Lift the bottom out, and then out it comes like that. It's quite simple. Now the cleaning of the back part is basically centered around these forks here. There's a lot of goo on there, so you need to keep those forks absolutely clean, because if you don't, the paper will come out, hit that, any contaminants there will cause the paper to jam. Clean the rollers, make sure there's no what we call cat fur in there. Just generally give it a good clean. That's not too bad. And then also clean these ribs. All these ribs need cleaning, and the rollers. Just give them a good rub. Make sure there's nothing stuck on them. Make sure there's no bits of paper in there. And then to put the cover back on, you need to actually lift this lever. This little part has to be lifted up like that. It's pivoted. That has to lift up and go over the top of that, because if you try to put that back in there, it won't close. So what you need to do is to put the top in underneath like that, put your fingers around, lift that up, slide it in gently, and then make sure that the lugs at the bottom are fitting in like that, and then snap it in and then put the screws back. If you don't put the screws back, you will get a printer error, because there's a micro switch in there which needs to be closed, and it can only be closed if you screw the back in. So that's it. So now that is all you need to do to keep the back clean. Finished.